One of the important simple machines is the lever. And there are three different classes of levers. We call them the first class, second class, and third class. All of them can be done using a rather simple apparatus. So what I have here is a meter stick, and I've drilled a hole at the 50 centimeter mark through which I place a nail. And then I want to attach the nail to the stand. And that will depend on the kind of clamp that you have. I have here what we call a clamp holder. And if I take the clamp, the clamp holder, I can screw the clamp holder tightly so as to hold the lever, and it's then free to rotate about the nail. We call this the fulcrum. Now, it's important to hold the lever over the base of the stand so that when you put different weights on here, it will not tip. So by keeping the mass over the stand, you have a more stable system. If you don't have this kind of a clamp, there are other ways of attaching it. So we'll just demonstrate. Suppose you've got a clamp like this. A clamp like this can be adjusted by turning this, screwing it in, and you should probably screw it in about as far as it will go. Attach it to the stand and lock it in place so the jaws are horizontal. You can then slip the nail into the clamp and tighten it. You then tighten the screw so the nail is firmly held in place, and note that the center of mass is again above the base. And we can move it up or down depending on what we're going to be hanging from our lever. So this is another way of supporting the lever. If you don't have this type of a clamp, you might have a clamp like this. Well, we can also again utilize this. So I've got a clamp with 3 prongs on it. We can clamp that so that the meter stick is now sideways. And so here's my clamp with the nail clamped tightly, supporting the lever, and again, the center of mass will be above the stand. So you have a fairly rigid stand here. The best type is really the clamp holder, because it brings the mass close to the metal rod and centers it evenly over the base. The lever will inevitably be unbalanced because it's really hard to get it exactly at the center. So you can take a small amount of modeling clay and just take a little piece off and add it to the lighter end until the meter stick is more or less balanced. It's not super critical if it's off a little bit. Next, we want to put some hooks on here so that we can hang weights and our spring scale from that. One way to do that is to make a hook using a piece of wire. So I've got a piece of wire that I've shaped using some pliers. So you can just take some pliers and shape the wire, and you can then just hang that on the meter stick, and from that then suspend different weights. That of course will also unbalance the meter stick, but these will be minimal compared to the weights that we will be hanging from the meter stick. Another way of making hooks is just to take a large paper clip like this and then just clip off part of that. So take a wire cutter and we can clip part of that off, shape it a little bit, and set it over like this, and we can then hang our weight from here. Either way, you want to have some way of being able to hang weights from the meter stick. And you can move these back and forth, and you've also got now a built-in scale that you can measure the distance from the center to wherever the weight itself is hanging. So you can move these back and forth. Now we also need weights. Inexpensive weights can be made using just plastic bottles. So I've got here a 2-liter pop bottle, and I've put a wire hook on it. So you just need a heavy wire and wrap it around the neck and make it into a hook so you can hook it onto the lever. You can add water to that until the spring scale gives you a reading of 2,000 grams or 20 newtons. And we can do that with different objects. So I've got here a 1,000 gram. What I've done in this case, I added some sand and water to the bottle so that the volume, the overall volume is a little bit less. So this is a 1 kilogram mass. Here is a 600 kilogram mass, or 6 newtons. Here's one that's 500. And you can make whatever size you want using appropriate size bottles. And it's good to have sets of these so that students can use a variety of different weights for their lever experiments.